In this video we will discuss about consistency. Consistency is the most important quality that a trader must have to be profitable. As a word, consistency is the quality of always behaving or performing in a similar way, or of always happening in a similar way. Consistency in trading means when you have a trading strategy with clear, simple rules written on a paper, and you respect all those rules every time for the trades that you make. If you respect all those rules for a period of time, you realize that you are profitable. If you don't respect the rules, then those actions will affect your profitability results in the long term. The problem here is that you will never realize what the problem is with your system. You don't see exactly where the mistakes are being made, and you can start losing money if you are not aware of the consistency in your trading. We discussed before about the rules in a trading strategy. So the rules are simple. You have an entry rule, you have a stop loss rule, you have a take profit rule, and you have trading management rules. If you have ideas, if you have other rules in your trading, before introducing them or changing the main strategy, you need to do a lot of back testing for each asset that you trade. I would like to introduce here the risk to reward ratio. So you've seen this before. In here we have the risk. So in between the green and the red is the entry price where you put in a trade. The bottom of this square is the sell stop, where you put your sell stop to be taken out of a trade. And this represents your risk. This represents the amount that you are going to lose if the trade will go against you. From the entry price to the top of this green square is the reward, or the winnings, or the profits, or whatever you want to call them. And this represents the take profit rule. What's your take profit rule? And then you can calculate the risk to reward ratio by dividing the reward by the risk. So if you made 100 points on the reward and your risk is 20 points, if you divide them, you'll have a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. That means you did 5 times more money than you were risking. That's why we work with points and pips and other things, and not with money or necessarily with percentages. The risk to reward ratio depends a lot on the asset that you trade, but if you do your back testing like this, by also calculating the risk to reward ratio, you'll see very quickly how is that asset performing. So it's about performance. The risk to reward ratio, it's about performance, and that's what you care first, because you discuss about money later. The risk to reward ratio, if I risk $20 and win $20, that's a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 1. If I risk $20 and win $10, that's a risk to reward ratio of 1 to 0.5. So that's a small risk to reward ratio. So in trading, we like to have and to focus on trades that are bigger than 1 to 1 risk to reward ratio. If your risk to reward ratio is generally smaller than 1 to 1, that's not a very good trading system, so you might want to look for something else, or do a little more work on backtesting, or maybe not trade that asset. If I risk $20 and win $40, that's a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, and that's very good. That's a good trade. It's not the best trade. You can have bigger trades, but this is a good trade. So let's assume that we have here a number of trades that we have taken from time to time. Let's see, we took a trade every few days. So those are several weeks of trading where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 trades. And it took us a few weeks to have those. And let's see, trade by trade, how do we start with the risk to reward ratio and where we are going to be after 15 trades. So let's assume that we are going to risk 1% of our trading account for every trade. So 1 R. So we are going to, you see that I write here RRR, which is risk to reward ratio. But to make more simple, we usually write just 1 R. So that means the risk to reward ratio. So let's assume that our R risk is going to be $100. So in the first trade here, it's a win, and we made 3 Rs. So this means that the risk was the same, 1, but we made 3 times more money or points than what we risked. We are 3 Rs in profit. That means we are 3% in profit because we risk 1% per trade. Here we have $300. This is what it means, but we are going to continue to work in Rs. The second day, or a few days later, we said you do another trade, enter another trade, and you make 1 to 2. So you make 2 Rs, win. So 3 plus 2, we have 5. The third day, the trade goes against you and you lose 1 R because this is what you risk. So 5 minus 1, 4. Let's say that the fourth day is the same. You lose 1 trade. So you're back to 3. And the fifth day, you enter a trade and you make 1 to 4. So you make 4 Rs. So that's 3.47 Rs. The next day you make 1 Rs, that's 8. The next day, let's say that it takes you out at 0.5 Rs and you have 8.5. Then you make 3 Rs, 11.5. Then you take another loss, 10.5. You make 2 Rs, 12.5. You take another loss, 11.5. You make 2 Rs, 13.5. You make 4 Rs, 17.5. Then you make 2.5 Rs. So that's 20. And you have another loss. So after 15 trades, you are in profit 19 Rs. If you risk $100 per trade, because this is your risk management, that means you made $1,900 on that asset with those trades. You made those money from nothing. But let's say that you have this and you have like a parallel universe where you don't respect your trade and you don't respect your rules and your entry and you don't have discipline. Let's see what could happen. Let's just make like a imagination exercise. So let's say that in a parallel universe in this day where you would have win 3, you don't do any trading because you wake up early or you go out or you decide to play some games on your computer and you don't watch the market, you don't enter these trades, so you do not make those 3 Rs. Then the next trading day, when the market gives you a signal, let's say that you enter that trade and you make 2 Rs. So you have 2 Rs. Then you decide to keep doing it and you take this signal and it's a loss. You take another signal and it's a loss. So you are now down to 0. From this moment, if you would have decided to just respect your rules and be disciplined and respect your trading, it would have been fine because you respected the trades here. This day you just didn't want to participate to the market. You decided to do something else. So let's go forward. Let's say that in here you enter a trade, you see that you are up 2 Rs and you just see those money, you see those profits, you see those $200 profit, you're afraid that you're going to lose it, and instead of waiting for your take profit rules to take you out of the trade, you decide to close the trade and you make 2 Rs, but then you see that your indicator would take you out at 4 Rs. So you could have made 4, but you only made 2 because you didn't respect your rules. The next day, you respect your rules, you decide to just respect it and go out at 1 to 1. The next day, you just see that price keep hanging around 0, so it doesn't go up, it doesn't explode. You are afraid that you are going to take another loss and you close your trade at 0. It's not a big win here, but at least in here you have respected your rules. It doesn't matter what the win was. You get mad, and the day after that, when you receive a signal, you are not even participating to the market because you're doing something else. Then at the next signal you decide to participate and you take a loss. Then you keep going, you receive another signal and you win those 2 hours. Another day you decide to not participate, and this time, because you did not participate, you avoided this loss. But is this good or bad? Or it is just luck? This is not good, because at least you would have respected your discipline to trade all the time, because you have to track every signal, you have to take it if you want to be consistent. Then in this day, you take this signal, you enter this trade, you see it going up to 2 hours, but you're thinking maybe it's going to go up even more than that. You have that feeling in your gut that the market is going to go higher. So you don't go out when the exit indicator is telling you to go out. Instead, you just leave it there. A few hours later or a day later, you see that now you're not up 2 hours anymore, but you are down 0.5 hours, and the market is very close to your stop loss, and you don't like that because you've seen you have been winning before. So now you're afraid that it's going to hit your stop loss, and you decide to drag it down and add an extra hour to your risk because you just want to give it some space. Maybe it's going to return back up, but the market, it doesn't. It goes down, it hits your stop loss, so you lose 2 hours instead of respecting your risk management system and risking only 1 hour, only 1% for each trade, because that's what you decided. The next day, you go again into the market and you win 4 hours, so you're a little better now. Then again, you do not participate and you do not make those 2.5 hours. And in the 15th day, you participate to the market and you take a loss on this signal. So now you see that the story with those trades around here, it's been very dramatic, because this is what the life of someone who is inconsistent and not disciplined, and it doesn't respect the rules. This is how that kind of life looks and feels dramatic, when this one is just normal, just nominal, to put it like that. But let's look at the results, because this is what matters. This part here, this is a winning system. Okay, so this system is profitable. But if you're not consistent, you'll feel a lot of pain around here, and you end up only with 5 hours in profit. And you're being lucky here, because it can be worse. It can be minus 5 hours, like it happened here. This could easily be minus 5 hours in one trade. So this is 5 hours and this is 19. This is the difference when you apply the same system and you are not consistent and you are not disciplined and you don't respect the rules. That's why you need to write those rules on an A4 piece of paper, like we discussed before, or on the half of that page. Just write your rules, very simple, and have that piece of paper on your desk, and you just check everything. Check, you did that, you did this, and this is how you are going to trade. You are not going to deflect from that. And we are going to see later how you can trust the system and how you can make sure through backtesting that the system is profitable. Until then, see you in the next video.